Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Rhonda Robson and welcome to my SheleeArt channel. Today's video is going to look a little bit different than some of my other ones, and I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison to two cell activators, using it with a swipe technique and a blowout, so blowing through your mouth in order to create cells. I have two cell mixes that I'm going to show you. Cell mix number 1, which mixes Floetrol, which is American Floetrol, and wood conditioner, and cell mix number 2, which is Fletrol and Water, and then I mix those with the Amsterdam Paint. Okay, well, let's get you started. Thanks for joining me, and if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. All right, let's get started. Okay, as I've discussed in the intro, it's an experiment today using two different cell activators. This one, cell mix number 1, is going to be 2 parts, actually this is cell mix number 2, 2 parts Floetrol to 1 part water. And cell mix number 1 is 13 fluid ounces of 1 milliliter of wood conditioner. Then I mix those in Amsterdam Paint and to create my different mixes. And so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I'm creating my cell activators. So I grabbed my scale because the scale is important when I'm trying to figure out my ratios. So once my scale is turned on, I put on my device or whatever I'm going to put my stuff in, and then I zero it out, because if not, then it adds the weight of the container that I'm using. Okay, so now as I'm putting in my Amsterdam Paint for this cell activator, this one is actually number 2 that I'm calling number 2 in my next few videos, and I'll mark that on this bottle. But this is 2 parts Floetrol to 1 part water. So since I'm doing 1 part paint to 2 parts of my mix, notice that I have 1 ounce of paint in there, and now I'm going to bring that up to 3, because 1 plus 2 equals 3. And so that way it'll equal 1 part paint to 2 parts of my mix. Okay, so now you need to mix it very thoroughly in order to make sure everything kind of comes together. And it takes a little bit, but once you get there, it'll stay that way. You'll just have to mix it right before you utilize it in a painting. All right, here's the consistency. It is definitely thin. It still leaves a mound on the top of the surface of the paint, but it is thinner. All right. Okay, so same thing. Now I'm going to be doing the black Amsterdam Paint. So I get that to 1 ounce as well. So let me get that done here. So I got it 1.09, I think, or 3. And so now I'm going to zero it out to show you. Now I'm going to add 2 ounces instead of adding it together where I did before. And now I've got it at 2.05 ounces. And then again, you're going to mix it very thoroughly in order to make sure that everything kind of comes together. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing, but instead of using the cell mix with just the Fletrol and water, we're going to use the cell mix with the Fletrol and wood conditioner. So for this one, I started out with trying to do 2 parts of the mix to 1 part of the paint, but it was very thick, as you can kind of see. So I am adding in more of the mix to thin it out a little bit more and creating a 3-to-1 ratio on this one. So, you know, initially I thought I was going to do the same as I did with my first mix, but my first mix is a lot thinner than the second mix, which this second mix that I'm mixing today is actually my first mix, my mix number 1. So yeah, too funny. All right, so now I'm doing the same thing with my black. Now that I know I'm going to be doing a 3-to-1 ratio, I'm getting in 1 ounces of the black paint, and I'm going to add in now my cell mix. I'm just going to go ahead and put in all 3 ounces for you. And because it takes quite a bit to stir this up, I decided to go ahead and just put a little more than the 2 ounces in there, and then I will go ahead and get you all up to 3 now. And now I'm adding in a little bit more of the mix to get it up to 3 ounces, so that way we have a 3-to-1 ratio. And you know, now as I'm thinking about it, what I'd like to maybe do, even with the mix that I did previously to this one, is instead of doing a 2 parts of the mix to 1 part paint, I might try that cell mix, a 1-to-1 ratio, to make it a little bit thicker too. So anyway, well, thanks for joining me on me showing you how to mix these. In just a few moments, I'm going to show you what the differences is and utilizing them on paint. But right now I want to show you the difference in thickness. As you can kind of see as it runs off my stick, one is making a slight mound on the top of the surface and one is creating a mound on a mound. Alright, so let me show you utilizing the 2 different cell activators on one canvas. So the cool thing is about this experiment is that I also discovered a new color palette that I really like. And I'm just going to let you know one of my favorite things right now is to use a fluorescent of some kind in my paintings. And so as you see, I use that fluorescent green. I'm using a darker green, kind of like a phthalo green, and then I'm using a couple different colors of blues. So the top one is going to be cell activator number 2, and the bottom one is cell activator number 1. And I'm just going to put the cell activator on my palette knife and then swipe it across. Unfortunately, my camera stops about right now. And that just happens sometimes with different cameras. Sometimes you run out of battery or something happens. But anyway, the top one is the results of cell activator number 2, and the bottom one is cell activator number 1. Now, when I say the numbers now, it is opposite of what I showed you. So cell activator number 2 is actually the first one I mixed for you in this video, and cell activator number 1 is the second one I mixed in this video. And so I apologize for that. That's just how it happens. And I didn't pay attention to when I was making which cell activator number 1 and number 2 was. But yeah, anyway. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you just blowing it out. I wanted to show you in a swipe, and now I'd like to show you blowing that out. So I'll just do the exact same thing in just the same area so that you can see how it reacts when you blow it out. So same colors, and then I blow it out with my mouth, which I'm not really good with right now. I'm getting better, but I use my blow dryer. It's a lot better for me, at least for right now. So I just need to practice a little bit more. But you can see the differences in the 2 blows, and then I'll show you the end results at the end. So here I'm thinking I'm going to start swiping, and I'm like, no, I better not, because if I start swiping it, then it doesn't show you what it looks like at the end results once I've blown it out. All right, well, let me show you the white ones now. So that one's next. So again, with the white, same colors. The top one is cell activator number 2 again, and the bottom one is cell activator number 1. And you know, the end results on these are very similar. There is differences. And I decided to show you also with the white one, me blowing it out and not using a hair dryer. So let me show you a picture of what those end results looks like. All right, so now that I've done these experiments, I'm going to start working with these different cell activators in some paintings that are coming up, utilizing different types of color palettes and different kinds of paint. In fact, those will be coming up in the next couple weeks. Although those will be in the next few weeks, let me continue to show you this one. I really love the cells that these 2 cell activators are creating, and I really, really love this color palette. Okay, so here's the end results of these 2. The top one is cell activator number 2, and the bottom one is cell activator number 1. So as you can see, they both look very similar. Just kind of really what you prefer. On this one again, it's cell activator number 2 at the top, cell activator number 1. And I would have to say, if I was just basing my results on both these 2, it would be tough because this one I think looks better in the black, but it could be how I stretched that one, because see how that's all kind of wonky. And then this one I like better in the white, but I did not stretch the white one, right? And then here's that one too, that looks pretty cool. And then the blowouts, that's my fault. I can't blow it very well. But so those are the different cell activators as well. So, all right, well, thanks for joining me, and I'm glad that you're able to see the end results as well. Okay, well, tell me which one of the cell activators that you like better down below. All right, bye. 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 Thanks for joining me, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and clicking that notification bell. And if you liked this video, I bet you're gonna like these as well. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now. Bye. Bye.